Hello friends, we are back again dealing with the same topic, industry, and especially the manufacturing industries. And the other day we saw what are the benefits of this manufacturing industry, or what we need to do in order to get the maximum benefit from this manufacturing industry and so on. And today let us see about the location of industry. What determines the location, or who decides that where an industry should be set up, or what makes him to make that choice, and so that is what we are going to learn today. You can take page number 66. So industrial locations are complex in nature, and these are influenced by availability of raw material, labor, capital, power and market, etc. So industrial locations are complex in nature, so we need to see the many aspects before choosing a place to set up industry. So what are some of them? They are influenced by, the locations are influenced by the availability of raw material, labor, capital, power and market, and so we can underline what are the factors influencing the location of an industry. What are they? First of all, the availability of raw material. Raw material should be nearby. Then there should be enough labor, people to work, and there should be capital, should be there, the land and other things should be available. Then the power supply should be there, and also the market. After finishing the goods, we have to go and sell it in the market. If the market is nearby, then they don't need to carry so far away, they can sell it, so they can save a lot of money on transportation. So these are the things that are influencing the choice of a location of industry. Then it is rarely possible to find all these factors available at one place, and consequently manufacturing activity tends to locate at the most appropriate place where all the factors of industrial location are either available or can be arranged at lower cost. So we said some of the things that are required to choose the location, but we can be sure that all these things will not be possible to make it available at one place. Therefore, how will you do? So we have to choose a location where we can get these things, the maximum things possible, and the rest of the things at a cheaper rate. Maybe other things may be a little far away, maybe the labor we have to bring them from little far away. So we will see in which are the ways or means that these factors can be made easily available at the cheapest cost. That is what they will consider. And consequently, manufacturing activity tends to locate at most appropriate place where all the factors of industrial location are either available or can be arranged at lower cost. Then after an industrial activity starts, urbanization follows, that we said in the last class, where government wants to set up the industry. We said government is trying to expand the industry to the rural areas and to the village areas. What is the purpose? Because where the industry is set up, that place will become urbanized, or it will become a city. So every rural area government wants to turn into a city where more facilities will be available. That's why where the industry is there, that place begins the urbanization. So why urbanization begins? Because sometimes industries are located in or near the cities. So industrialization or industries are located near the city. Then industrialization and urbanization go hand in hand. Cities provide markets and also provide services such as banking, insurance, transport, labor, consultants and financial advice, etc. to the industry. So they like to start industry in a town where the facilities are available, because industry needs a lot of facilities. What are the facilities they need? They need banking service. They need to borrow money from bank, therefore bank should be nearby. Or insurance, they want to do the insurance of the factory in case there is accident, fire or any damage, then they can claim the amount back from the insurance company. Then there should be transportation, and then labor should be available. Then consultants, in case there is any complication, they need some consultants like advocate, lawyer and so on, who can advise them how to get out of the complications. Then financial advice, there should be some people to tell them where they should invest, or which are the things that is having high demand in the market, so what things they should produce. All those things they need advice. So there should be skilled people, qualified people, knowledgeable people to should be available in order to provide these services to the industry sector. And many industries tend to come together to make use of the advantages offered by the urban centers known as agglomeration economies. So there is a tendency that many urban centers many industries are coming together to the urban centers to take the advantage offered by these urban centers. So all these bank and other facilities will be available in the bank in the town. If we go and start one industry straight away in the rural area, it will take time, it will take years to set up road transportation, to start the banking service, insurance service, everything. Otherwise, every time they have to go to the town to get these facilities. So companies prefer to start in the towns where all these facilities are available. And gradually, a large industrial agglomeration takes place. So many industries come together in the town because all these facilities are available. Therefore, at the end, more and more industries will be added to the town or to the cities, and it will become a big agglomeration of industries. A town will become a place where so many industries are available or present and so on. Then in the pre-independence period, most manufacturing units were located in places from the point of view overseas trade, such as Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, etc. So before India got independence, most of the industries or trade in India that was located in places from the point of view of overseas trade. So before independence, who was doing the trade in India? It was done mostly by the British people, and their intention was not to develop India but to take the things from India to their country and manufacture it, then bring back and sell in India and get maximum profit. That was their intention. Therefore, all the industry they started near the port, seaport, because those days the transportation was carried out by the sea route. Therefore, the industries were set up near the seaport so that the transportation expense becomes less. That was their intention. But now, consequently, there emerged certain pockets of industry, developed urban centers surrounded by a huge agricultural rural hinterland. So by following that example of the British, it became a tendency in India to start industry near the port. So rural hinterland. Rural hinterland means the land that is near to the port, near to the seaport. So people began to look at that benefit of industry, like exporting things or importing the raw materials or importing the machineries. For all that, they have to depend on the sea route. Therefore, if they start the industry near to the closer to the seaport, then they can save a lot of money, but otherwise they have to spend on transportation. Then you can see a chart is given there, how the industry and market are linked, how they are connected together. So first we can see the inputs that are required, the input that are required in order to manufacture something. What is the meaning input? The things that we put inside, that is called input. So in the computer and so when you studied, I'm sure you learned about input and output. So all the data that we are feeding, that is input. The keyboard what we are typing, that is input. Then it is processed inside the computer, then it comes out as paper. The printed paper is coming out, that is the output. So all that we give that side, the print command, that is also input. Then it comes out, the printed sheet comes out, that is output. The paper also we are putting, that is also input. What comes out at the end is output. Same thing it is in the industry as well. We need to put inside a lot of things. What are they? Like raw materials or component parts or factories of production like land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, infrastructure and so on. All these things are inputs. In order to start production, we need raw materials, we need machines, we need land, capital, the furniture, all those things are required. All that is input. So when we collect all these things, gather together, then we can start production slowly. Then those things are transported to the factory. Then the factory it is produced and the finished goods come out. And then again we do the transportation to the market. And when we reach that finished goods in the market, what happens or what do we get? We get the money. They will buy our things and will give us the money, isn't it? That is how the product between industry and the market, how it is linked together, and what is input and what is the output and so on. So at the end we get the money, the profit for all the works that we have done. Then the key decision of a factory location is the least cost. So when they choose a place, a location for setting up industry, the prime most thing that comes to their mind is how can I find a place at the lowest cost, or which place if I choose it will be costing me the lowest expense. That is the targets, because every company is aiming at making profit. They are not doing charity works, they are making profits. And therefore government policies and specialized labor also influence the location of industry. So sometimes government also makes certain policies, then that also will affect the choice of the place or location. Then another thing is the specialized labor. They will look where are the labor available. Specialized labor, ordinary labor, unskilled labor, we can get it from anywhere. But people who are trained, people who are skilled, to find them it is very difficult. So we have to find out where are those people available. So accordingly they may choose the place where these skilled people are available. Then you can see an ideal location for an industry. The chart is given in your textbook. You can see what is the ideal location for an industry. So first thing is the cost of obtaining raw materials at the site. So to bring the raw material from the farm to the factory, that should be at the lowest cost. So if the distance is far, then the expense will be more, the transportation charge will be more. Then another thing is cost of production at site. So if I start a factory here, then what will be the price of production? Will it be high or low? If I choose another place, will it be high or low? So you will choose the place where it is low cost for production. Then another thing is decision to locate factory at site. So we have to take the decision to locate the factory at site. At the site we have to locate the factory. Then what will be the benefits, what will be the difficulties, what will be the disadvantages, all that we have to see. Then we have to see the cost of distribution of production. So after finishing the production of goods, we have to distribute them into the market, and that one we have to see how can I distribute it at cheaper rate. If the market is too far away from the factory, then I have to carry all my goods to the market such a long distance, and and the transportation charge will be very high again. So all these you will see which one will help me to reduce the expense, reduce the cost of production, and that place I will choose. That is how the company managers, the factory owners, and so is choosing the place to set up their industry and so on. So let us see now about different types of industries, the classification of industries. The classification of industry. List the various manufactured products you use in your daily life, such as transistors, electric bulbs, vegetable oil, cement, glassware, petrol, matches, scooters, automobiles, medicines, and so on. So in our daily life, we use so many things in our daily life. Even if we are staying all the time at home, we need so many things at home. All that is produced in different places. And if we classify the various industries based on the particular criterion, then we would be able to understand their manufacturing better. Industries may be classified as follows. So we will classify, or we will make the partition of industries based on the things that they produce. Certain industries produce these things. In one industry we cannot produce all the things because it needs different equipments. So different industries are there producing different things. The industry that is producing small items cannot produce heavy items like vehicles and so on. So it will require another industry. So let's see, on the basis of the source of raw materials used, we can divide industry into two. So depending on the type of raw materials that we use for production, we can divide industry into two. One is agro-based. So from the name itself we can understand what is the meaning of agro-based. What is the meaning? Agro means agriculture. So the raw material that is coming from the agricultural farm, we can say all those industries are agro-based industries. Can you say some examples? Example: sugar, rubber, textile, woolen, cotton, all these things, coffee, edible oil, all these industries we are getting the raw material from the agricultural farm. For example, making cotton, the cotton is growing in the land. Then the wool, the sheep that is on the land, that is also agro-based industry. Then the jute, the silk, the textile, the rubber, the sugar, tea, coffee, edible oil like mustard oil and so on. All these are based on the agriculture. Therefore, all these industries will be called agro-based industries. Then another type is called mineral-based industry. Mineral-based industry. So iron and steel, cement, aluminium, machine tools, petrochemicals, all that is the mineral-based industry. The raw materials that are used are minerals. They are not coming from agriculture, but they are minerals mined out from the earth. Though the mining is agriculture sector, but it is minerals that are used for producing chemicals and other machines and so on. Therefore they are mineral-based industries. Then according to their main role, so the industries are playing a role. So depending on what role are they playing, we can divide them into different category again. So we can divide them into basic or key industries, or we can say consumer industries. So the two types of industries that we can give is basic industry or consumer industry. So the two type of industries. One is basic industry. Let's see what is basic industry or key industries, which supply their products or raw materials to manufacture other goods. Example, iron and steel and copper smelting, aluminium smelting, and so on. So the key industries or the basic industries, they produce something or they produce some raw material, and that it will be used by other industries in order to make something solid. We can, for example, we can say the iron and steel industry, they produce iron, and that iron is used by different so many other industries to make vehicles like train, railway track, then building materials. All that is made in different companies. So what do they use? They use the industries that are producing iron. From iron ore they will make it iron, and that iron will be used by different companies to make. So these iron and steel industries are basics for so many other industries. If they don't make iron, then all the other industries will be closed down. Then another one is consumer industries. Second one is consumer industries. So consumer industries that produce goods for direct use by consumers. For example, sugar, toothpaste, paper, sewing machine, fans, and so on. So these industries, what do? They don't make raw material again. They make the finished goods so that the consumers can use it directly. For example, the company or industry that produce sugar, they produce toothpaste or like paper and so that people can use it directly. We don't need to make something else again in order to use these things. Directly we can use them because they are finished goods. Then on the basis of investment capital, we know all the industries, they do not need equal amount of capital. Some need very heavy huge capital because they are running very big industry, and some are small industries and they need very few lakhs maybe enough to start their industry. So on the basis of the capital that is required, we can divide them into two. So one is small scale and another one is large scale. So small scale industry is defined with reference to the maximum investment allowed on the assets of a unit. So in a small scale industry, there is a maximum amount is fixed by the government. If they are using capital more than that fixed amount, then they will not be called a small scale industry. So if their capital is remaining below that fixed point of amount of capital, then they will be called, what will they call? They will be called a small scale industry. Then this limit has changed over a period of time. At present, the maximum investment allowed is rupees 1 crore. So according to the need, the government will keep on changing the maximum amount. A small scale industry, how much money capital they can have. So at present, the amount that is fixed by the government is 1 crore. So if they are using more than 1 crore, then they will not be called a small scale industry. They will be called large scale industry. So it is 1 crore. That is the maximum amount of capital that a small scale industry can use. Then on the basis of ownership, we can divide again. On the basis of ownership, depending on who is the owner of the company. So we can say on the basis of ownership, we can have 4 divisions. The first one is, we have already said in the beginning, public sector. The public sector operated by the government agencies. So who is the owner of the public sector industries? It is the government. Government, state, maybe state government or central government, it is a government. So for example, Bell, Sale, and so on. So all these companies are owned by the government. Then second one is private sector. Just as the government can start business or industry, the private people who have enough money, they can also start industry. Then it will be called private sector industries. So they are owned and operated by individuals or a group of individuals For example, Tisco, Bajaj Auto Limited, and Dabur Industries and so on. So if one person alone is not able to begin an industry, if he does not have enough money, he can call many more people. A group of people also can put the money that is required and start an industry. So all the members will be private people, no government. So either it can be owned by the government or it can be owned by the private people. Then it is also possible that sometimes government wants to start an industry, but government does not have enough money in their hands. So they will call some private people, so come, let us start an industry together. Then it will be called a joint industry. So joint industries which are jointly run by the state and the individuals. So if both government and private individuals work together or start an industry, then it will be called joint sector industries. And Oil India Limited is jointly owned by public and private sector. So one example of this joint sector industry is, what is it? Oil India Limited. Then another option is cooperative sector industries. They are owned and operated by producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers or both. So in this cooperative sector, it is not just one person or many persons work together. It is a group of people. A group of people come together and form. There is no private individual. There is no one individual, but a group of people. Maybe all those who are having this raw material. For example, let us say the farmers who are cultivating cotton. They can all come together and form an industry to turn that cotton into yarn. So that it will be industry of cooperative sector. So many people of one sector come together and do. Or maybe different producers, they can come together and start an industry. Or maybe different suppliers, those who are supplying, they can all come together and form an industry, start an industry. So a group of people come together and start, that is called cooperative sector. Then they pool in the resources and share the profits or losses proportionately, such as the sugar industry in Maharashtra, the coir industry in Kerala and so on. So these people, they put the money inside capital, they need a lot of capital, so everyone will contribute the capital. So according to the share they are putting in, the profit also they will get more. So those who are depositing more capital, he will be getting more profit. Those who are depositing less amount of capital will be getting less share of profit. In the same way, there can be loss also. It is not necessary always industry should be running at a profit. So it can be also led to loss. So if those who are, as they are taking more profit, if there is a risk, they will be taking more loss as well. So that is possible. Then based on the bulk and weight of raw material and finished goods. So we can divide industry again depending on the bulk and the weight of the raw material. How much they are producing. Are they producing very little or are they producing plenty? And the weight. Are they producing small items or heavy items? So heavy industries such as iron and steel. So iron and steel industry, that will be iron, we know it is a heavy thing. So such kind can be called heavy industry. Or light industries that use light raw materials and produce light goods such as electrical industries and so on. So industries that are very light or producing things that are very light. Very light means not light things that are producing light like tube light and so on, but things that are very light, not very heavy. Opposite of heavy is light. So those industries that are producing light items, very with less weight, that is called light industry. So heavy industry and light industry. So these are some of the industries that are divided based on different activities. Some are divided based on the raw material that they are using. Some are divided depending on the main role that they are playing. And another division is based on the capital investment, and another division is based on the ownership, and the final division is depending on the weight and the bulk of the things that they are producing. So we learned, so read nicely again and again and try to understand it in the maximum and get the maximum benefit. So we will stop today, and the next class we will learn about the industries that are based on agriculture products, or agro products as the raw material. So we will meet you tomorrow. Bye.